Our next guests are here for a leadership summit on authentic human connection. Please welcome James Miles and Mike Kleba to the South by Southwest studio. Welcome to the couch.
Thank you. I like this couch.
Yeah, it's nice, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling it. It's good. It's great.
You both are hosting a leadership summit on authentic human connection. What are some of the biggest challenges in leadership in these times?
I would say the biggest challenge in leadership right now is fear. I think people are scared. I think that's really it. And scared to show their own vulnerabilities and fallibilities. It's hard to be a leader because you're not just working to do a job, you're working with people. And people are a wide variety of experiences. And yeah, so you have to adapt to that. So I think that's the biggest challenge, to be able to share who they really are with their staff, with their teams, with others. What would you say, man?
Well, I'm going to pick up right where you left off.
Yeah.
So we're all in a system that is built, as Dr. Nadia Lopez said at our session,
Yes.
it's built to remain in place, static, and survive all of us.
Right.
But the only way we can reform this system is from the inside. But to actually change things, you're going to have to sometimes say no to things to someone up the hierarchy, or you're going to have to say something that is not going to be well accepted at your Board of Education meeting or to your political constituency. And so we're not saying that people are cowards. No, it makes a lot of sense to not be courageous. But the biggest challenge we have in leadership right now is we need more people to listen to their hearts and speak them and say, you know what, I'm going to take this one for the team. I'm going to take this one for the movement because the kids need us. School can't work by tests. It can't. The testing is wrecking everything. So.
Yeah.
So you're both rock star educators and here to spread the love. Tell us about Spread the Love event and how it came about.
Let's see. Mike and I have been known to party. And when I say party, I mean in the classroom, out of the classroom, with each other.
If it isn't fun.
If it's not fun,
What's
we're
the
not
point?
doing it.
Yeah, that's right.
So March 9th actually is the 25th anniversary of the passing of Notorious B.I.G. And he made famous that slogan, spread love for the Brooklyn way, right? So when this opportunity came up to do a party on March 9th, one, that's our ethos, spread love.
Yep.
Two, it made sense to honor Notorious B.I.G. And just how do we spread love? There's so much divisiveness and hate in this world right now. Let's spread love everywhere.
And people are hungry for it.
Yeah.
People wanna love and be loved. People want to feel like it's not corny to be happy to see each other.
Yeah.
They want to we need to be together. We need to care for each other. So Spread Love was just an opportunity for us to honestly get down with some people that we like. You know, we had DJ Soul Nice, we had Mama Duke,
Yes.
and a whole bunch of teachers, and then of course the Secretary of Education, Secretary Miguel Cardona showed up, which blew it up, and I mean got on stage, you know, and the love was there. People were hugging.
Yes.
It was
so
awesome.
much hugging right now.
So much hugging.
I mean, and longer hugs. You know how people are going in for it, but then they're going a little longer than they used to because it's like, you know what?
This is good.
Don't
This
want to let
feels
go.
good. Right. We miss that human connection.
We do.
Yeah.
I heard that a 20-second hug. There's something about a 20-second hug.
I heard the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I read that somewhere.
Releases some endorphins. There's something special. It creates a connection.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe that's why we're all lingering. We all read the same things. Spread Love celebrates teachers and education policymakers along with late rapper Notorious B.I.G. You've explained what they have in common already, but I mean, are you going to ignore West Coast rap?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. Yes, not at all.
Just kidding. That wasn't a real question.
I know.
That was awesome.
I did not expect you to say that.
No,
That was good.
I figured if I could say it with a straight face.
Yes.
But I do wonder, did we get back into the, no, you know what, I heard Snoop. I did hear Snoop.
Snoop was there.
Okay.
Pac was there. We talked about Dre.
Yeah, we did get into Dre. Okay.
Dre. Yeah, we talked.
All right, we got it.
Okay, legit. All right.
Yeah.
James, you gave a popular TED Talk on why education needs hip hop.
Yes.
Expand on that and why give us an example of two hip hops, or how hip hop can play an important role in reaching kids.
Well, culture is what shapes us, right?
Right.
Everyone has a culture. What youth have in common is a culture of youth, the culture of the language they use, the media that they digest, the music that they hear on nonstop every day. That is based in hip hop. If I go to Japan and say, put your hands in the air like you don't care, I don't have to speak Japanese to do that. Everyone knows what that is.
Yes.
That's hip hop. And if you can bring that into a classroom to excite, to engage, to inform, to educate, why would you not? Yeah, I mean, plus as an arts educator, there's so many different methodologies to use in an education, classroom education setting. The 5 elements of hip hop: emceeing, breaking, DJing, graffiti, knowledge of self, right? So how do you use your voice as a student, as a teacher? That's emceeing. DJing, mixing things together. How are you combining something old with something new, right? Making something brand new. Graffiti, how are you using your visual arts? What are you showing to the students? What are you showing to your coworkers, right? Breaking, what are you breaking from? What traditions? Like breaking was done because there's no dance floors, right? Cardboard boxes. What are you taking that's laying around and using it to your benefit, to excite and to engage students? And then knowledge of self, that goes back to the love part. Like to be a hip hop artist, to be a human being, you have to love yourself. And you have to love everyone around you. And you have to know who you are and see yourself reflected in the content that you're being taught, in the content that you're sharing as an educator. That's the 5 breakdowns of hip hop, the 5 elements of hip hop. That's how it should be in classrooms. Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you for breaking that down.
Sure,
That was
sure.
great. Mike, your book, Other Full Highlights, The Importance of Relationships in Education. Explain how relationships are crucial in schools, especially now, and what makes for a strong, productive relationship.
Yeah. So Other Full was my and my good friend and colleague, Dr. Ryan O'Hara. It was our opportunity as a teacher and an administrator to write a book together, which we just kind of conjured up out of the conversations we've been having together as friends for years. He came to school after I'd been there for a few years, and we just started. He was an English teacher, I was an English teacher. We would share books, we would share pedagogy. Teachers are always talking about game. People who are related to teachers know that this is true. And it isn't just about talking smack about kids or other teachers, which we do sometimes too, but it's almost always like, how can I do this? You know, like a teacher's on vacation and like, I'm buying this book and I'm using it in my class. So the thing that Ryan and I wanted to dig into was, what happens when administrators truly care for their teachers? Truly. I don't mean like care for them because it's my job, but say, no, I'm gonna find out who the members of your family are. Like, tell me about your kids. Oh, you don't have kids. Oh, you're not even married. That's cool. What are you doing? Oh, you like to cook. Can you share some recipes? Now, this sounds so obvious,
Right.
but when you remind people that when they're in a leadership position, especially in education, that they have these avenues available to them, like, you know what? I'm gonna bring cookies that I made to the faculty meeting with my own hands. I made, and I'm the principal. And listen, I just want you guys to know that you're worth an hour and a half of my time, you know, and plus I'm still got some frozen cookie dough at home, so I'm gonna be hitting it and thinking about you. That sort of relationship building, it changes the air. It changes how things feel. And that's what we need, a field change. We talk about this in theater. A field change is when the whole vibe changes. You can change a whole vibe with one person sharing and listening. So that's what the book's about.
I could tell you guys are theater.
Yes.
You got that drama kid party to you.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed.
Education is going through its toughest period in our lifetimes. Talk about the challenge that you're seeing in your classes. I mean, where the love is most needed, and how teachers and leaders can best spread it.
Oh, Mike's still in the classroom.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, in fact, I'm skipping school right now.
right.
Do you want me to write you a note?
Yeah.
Yes, could you? Actually, that'd be.
Yeah, okay.
That actually would be helpful.
I want to get one before I go. Actually, that'd be so funny. I'll bring it to the science director. I'll be like, here's why I didn't come to the faculty meeting.
Please excuse him from class today.
You know what I'm saying? I think. Okay, so teachers are really, really burnt out,
Yes.
and they're supposed to now be doubling down. Like, it's like, okay, you taught yourself how to do everything remote. Some of you complain like crazy, but you all got there.
Right.
So now get back in the classroom, keep the hybrid thing going. Now you have to be on email 24/7, which everybody's always had to do anyway, so teachers, you just finally here. In the meantime, teachers are like, I've been doing all of this for a decade, and then in the last 2 years, things got really hard. What do we need in classrooms? We need a lot more care for teachers. That's one. Two, I think we need to be more graceful with our students. I think we need to let them miss work. I think we need to let them, and when I say let them, I mean, we need to stay on them, we need to keep pushing them, but we need to have some grace. You didn't do well on this test. You didn't do well on this homework. In fact, you didn't even turn in the full homework. You know what, kiddo? Turn it into me in a couple days. I'm gonna give you a little bit of room. Students need to know that their efforts aren't just to become better trained dogs. They need to know that we care about their discovery and their path. They're going to be, that's a whole person. They're going to be
Whole human being. Yeah.
without anything from us.
Right.
They don't need anything. They just need our recognition in some space. So I think if I were to sum that all up, I'd say we just need to make more space for the great and challenging work of the most important profession in the world, teaching, and the people they serve, students.
Not just feeding them facts and knowledge. You're making them
Exactly.
human beings.
Yes.
Whole people.
Yes. And they're not empty vessels, as you said, Mike. They come with a plethora of experiences from their own lives, but we don't acknowledge that in the classroom. I'm looking at my own children and seeing how stressed they are coming home from school every day because they don't feel seen, partially because they're wearing a mask, but mostly because they don't feel seen. And I think that definitely needs to shift. I'm worried about queer kids. I'm worried about trans kids, especially.
Preach.
You know, they're being ostracized in many states. Young kids of color are saying your identity doesn't matter, right? You can't even say, right? You can't even say you're gay. You can't even say you're black. We talk about Black history for February, 28 days of the year, and it's about slavery. That's it. We talk about Latinx History Month, and what do we talk about? Farm workers. We don't talk about the richness in the culture of all the Spanish-speaking countries around the world, or any country around the world. We need to see our students for the people that they are and not judge them based on some metacognitive idea about who they can be. You know, this is not 1800. We are not Horace Mann, right? We're not doing this industrialized form of education anymore. It didn't work then. It doesn't work now. Let's stop it.
Preach. James, I love that quote you cited in your TED Talk. If a child cannot learn in the way we teach, we must teach in the way a child can learn.
Yes.
In addition to music, what are some of the ways that teachers can accomplish this?
Have students stand up. Get away from their desks, right? All this focus is, you know, here's the same thing in the workplace. Desk, 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 desk. Just get out of your chair. Engage them. You know, we did a session the other day about critical race theory and just understanding it. How do you get people to understand it? Put it into their bodies. Just make it, like if we do this, if I shake your hand, frozen image, what do you see?
I see two hands connecting.
Exactly. Is this a critical race theory conversation? This is just two people shaking hands. It can mean so many different things.
Right.
That's how you engage students, through feel, through kinesthesiology, through art making, right? If you paint a picture of Picasso or see a picture from Picasso and a picture from another artist, and then just compare them. What do you see? Why do you say that? Just get their brains start thinking, right? Like that's how you engage young people. Just ask them anything. Ask them anything and then wait for the answer.
And listen to it.
And listen to it. And it may come out in the form of a dance. I don't know what I feel, but this makes me, I want to do this. Mr. Miles, can I do this? I'm like, you told me what you feel right now. Yes. Yeah. So that's my feeling.
I used to love it when I was a kid and they'd take the class outside.
Yes, right.
Just change it up a little
Go
bit.
outside.
Just the repetition would be taken away, or
Yes.
rainy days when you'd stay in and they
Yes.
had to come up with fun things to do that were different. It was
Right.
just
Duck,
so
goose.
cool to have that kind of bonding of
Yes.
different experiences.
Right. Yeah. Everything's a learning moment.
Right.
Everything's a teachable moment if you know how to do it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So you both run an agency called Leaders Don't Lead,
Yes.
where you provide professional development and leadership training to companies and organizations. What do you mean by Leaders Don't Lead? What can your clients learn from the world of education?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking about that.
Yes.
So what we like to say is, if leaders don't lead, what do they do then? Which is what you just said.
Yes.
And the answer is, you know, we put it this way: leaders enlist other people in the work of their own greatness. And that every person, when we think about a leader, we had a great coach, maybe we think about our mom, maybe we think about a teacher we had, we think about somebody who mentored us when we first started, you know, or whatever. They believed in our capacity. They didn't necessarily tell us what to do. Often they gave us advice, often they scaffolded and gave us, you know, shared insights. But then they like looked at us, often directly in the eye, and were like, but you got this, don't you? Or something like that. that's the work we do with company leaders. That's what we do with school leaders. We sit down and we remind people of stuff they already know. You already know how to be a good leader because you have a bunch of them in your head. What you need to do is recognize that you've got some personal blocks that then manifest into bad relationships. We feel like relationship therapy guys when we go to these things because we're just helping people reconnect with the better part of themselves, and then for them to become people who help others connect with the better part of themselves. Abraham Lincoln said that we have better angels. And the reason why his line about that in the mystic chords of memory that remind us of our better angels is that we all can relate to the mystic chords of our better angels. Like we all have good voices in our head, and great leaders help people listen to them.
Yeah.
Do you think anybody can be a leader?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's not something you go to school for. It's something you have to learn to do. You have to learn to listen to other people because we're taught to ignore. I'm just going to wait until it's my turn to speak again, instead of just actually listening to you.
That's right.
And just like, oh, interesting.
In fact, we say everyone has to be a leader. Like of whatever it is that you're a leader on. And it's not, and there are different types of leaders. No, can everyone be a great NBA coach? Can everybody be a great mom?
Right.
You know what I mean? Speaking of just two awesome leader types.
Right.
No, not everybody can. But you can lead something, and we need you to. Goodness, we need you to lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, anyone could be a leader. Oftentimes sit in my office alone and just wait. Because I have an open office, and my staff can come in whenever they need to. And just like, hey, here's what I'm thinking, James. Great, let's do this. I have to say, when I first became a leader, I had an idea about what a leader was supposed to be. And I think that's what a lot of people do. A leader has to be direct. A leader has to yell at their staff. You must command and demand. But that's not true. That's not true. What a leader must do is be a human first, right?
Yeah.
Leaders are humans first and foremost. Be a human. Be a compassionate, empathetic, engaging human being. And just love, like love. You know, they say young people learn if they love their teacher. Take that same framework to the workplace. Your staff will work harder if they love you. And I'm not talking about like some superficial romance. I mean, like, I love you as a person. I love the humanity. I love what you bring to this world, to this job, to the work, the people that you serve. I love that about you. That's fantastic. And I mean that. And that's also key. Authenticity. I mean that I love you, right? Yeah.
I feel like pandemic has made it, there's been a lot of responsibility shifted onto leaders in a way that is overwhelming.
Yes.
How do you help a leader not get burnt out and feel like they're carrying too much?
Yeah, there's a couple different things. That's a great question. There's a couple different ways in which we approach that. One of them is, and we're all now using the word self-care. If you said self-care in 2015, people would have been like, what are you, is that like some sort of new product I can get at the pharmacy? Like, self-care is now something we all can speak about. But when we actually talk about how do you do self-care, well, self-care means being able to say like, listen, I'm gonna courageously say I gotta leave this meeting early.
Right.
Like, I'm just gonna be real with you guys. I can't process right now, or I'm thinking about my daughter right now, and I can't be present. And saying that as a leader to people who work for you, what will happen is they will then start to heal you. We all want to heal. We all want to forgive. We do. This is why complete strangers actually pull their cars over and help people alongside the road. We want to help each other. So when you make a space where you can say to people, I need help emotionally, I need help personally right now, and you don't make it over the top. You just say like, I need a half an hour today, you guys. You change the culture of your leadership system. And what that does is it creates less toxins, right? And it makes it more of like it's like aloe, like it actually heals things. And also things like showing up as like, I'm a son, I'm a husband, I'm a brother, I'm a dog dad. I get emotional thinking about it. And like, I show up as those people.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I let people know like, I'm somebody's brother. Let me tell you about it. And I think that is self-care as well, because we give other people the opportunity to meet us where we are and who we are, and then they open up and things get less dangerous. We're all so tired because we're white knuckling everything.
Yes.
And like, this is why our friends are so important to us, because around our friends, if we've got good friends, we can be like, oh man, I'm gonna look terrible for a while, and I want to be with you so I can look and feel terrible and say terrible things, and your friends are like, you can say whatever you want. We need to bring more of that to work.
Yeah.
And people are hungry for it.
Yeah.
I mean, teachers are quitting in droves. So,
Yes.
so how do we best recruit a new generation of teachers, and specifically, how do we get more men to teach?
Oh, well, I think one, if we want to recruit more teachers, we have to value the profession of teaching.
Boom.
Teaching is still considered women's work, right? Which is why it's a second-class position. If we value the work that teachers do, that nurses do, that are typically feminine professions, you will see an increased desire to be an educator from men, especially because I know it's really hard to recruit black men to teach.
I think it was 2%.
2%, right?
Yeah.
The workforce is 85% white women. You look at ed tech, it's about 85% white men. Where's the disconnect, right? Why aren't those men in the classroom, and why aren't those women leading companies?
Yep.
We have to change the way we look at education. It's got to be not like the assembly line stuff that Horace Mann was trying to build.
Yep.
We have to take time and invest in people, invest in young people, especially young people, invest in them. You know, the self-care is important. And also, it's not a race. Take time, right? That's what leaders need to do. That's what teachers can do. It's not a race.
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah, we're just like, yes, we're just engaging, just engage. So it's gonna take some time to flip the education on its head, but first we have to be able to have a conversation without fighting.
And I think just I think the thing that you said, like, even when we talk about women's work,
Yes.
think about how much is built around that. We talk about this, but like, think about, because women's work is beautiful work, right? I mean, the most important work in the world is women's work. I mean, you know, being a mother is like the first starting point, and we diminish that and make it like, well, that's something you do on the side. It's like, no, the whole universe should revolve around motherhood. Let's just get that out the door. Two, we need to recognize that we can fight for this on the small. Like, everybody wants to talk about the big ideas. Let's do this, let's do that. How about, what can you do today that invites somebody to go, I need to change what I think about education?
I love that. Thank you guys for stopping by the studio. This has been an incredible conversation, and I'm so happy to meet you.
Likewise.
You are doing good work and spreading love.
Oh,
Thank you.
You too. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Yeah.
And that's a wrap for this year from the South by Southwest EDU studio. I'm your host, Carrie Byron, and it has been a blast to be here this week with you in Austin at the South by Southwest EDU. Thank you all for watching. And if you missed any of our conversations this week, you can catch up on all of them on the South by Southwest EDU TV app, available on Apple TV, Roku, Android, Amazon Fire, iOS, and Android mobile devices. So long for now, everybody. I can't wait to see you next year. Mwah!